Now, our guest today is an expat who spent 17 years in the Philippines and most of that time learning about love the hard way.
The hard way.
From wonderful to heartbreaking experiences, he's been through it all. But through highs and lows, John Dang found growth, wisdom, and a whole lot of stories to tell right here on Love Hacks.
Love hacks, we got you. No need to be sad.
Beautiful day, John and Coach V, of course. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited because I never thought I'd be talking to John on the show about his love life.
Diba? From real estate to love real quick.
I didn't know how I got convinced to do this.
Okay.
But John, you've been in the Philippines for 17 years?
Roughly around that.
Roughly
yeah.
17 years. What has been your most memorable experience so far?
Jeez, there's been so many. I always say, like, the Philippines is a country where everything's difficult, but anything is possible.
Okay.
So, like, anything I dreamed about doing here, I did. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to be a tech entrepreneur. I did that. I wanted to be a real estate investor. I did that. I wanted to be a content creator. I did that. But I couldn't do all these things without the love and support that I get here. And I don't get that anywhere in the world. So you really feel encouraged with the relationships that you have.
Yeah.
And encouraged just by people in general. It's like, yeah, whatever you want to do, go do it.
I love that because Coach V, you helped us bring John here on the show. You were a guest on his podcast, and it shook his
Yes.
foundations, I heard.
I know. I was so surprised at the beginning because we have a very successful, renowned real estate expert asking me to be in his show. I was like, what does dating and love, has something to do with real estate?
Yeah.
You need somewhere to
Yeah.
go.
And now he's on Love Hacks.
Yes.
Look at that.
I love that. Pero Coach, why do you feel that, we were trying to describe his situation here in the
Right.
Philippines, and you called it a roller coaster.
Yes.
What made you say that we could describe what he experienced as a roller coaster?
Yes. So absolutely, John, just like many other expats in the Philippines, have went to the Philippines not just for like career success, but along the way, of course, you can't help it but be charmed by some of the the Filipina love that we've been hearing. But like John here have very interesting stories because it wasn't just like straight like, oh, I found love. Like he also gone through the experience of vetting, like who to tell who's real or not, like what kind of what are the traits of a high value Filipina, before I even choose the one. So that's like one thing that we want to hear from him about his past experiences on dating, because there's a lot of expats who's going through the same thing, coming to the Philippines not just for business success but also, of course, for love.
You actually call yourself an expat who found love the hard way.
No, I don't
ba?
call myself. I don't even call myself an expat.
Yeah, but
I'm just labeled as such because I'm a foreigner here.
Okay.
If I can call myself Filipino, I would.
Yeah.
I call this place my home. I love it here, and I love the people here. It's the closest thing I feel to family. So to me, it's home.
Yeah. So we have you on the show because you also have questions for Coach V that I feel would illuminate our viewpoint when it comes to your own situation. So is there something that you could share with Coach V that she'll be able to dissect for us?
Share.
Yes. A question from you, or again, you're coming here not just for you, but like as a representative of the expat community
Yeah.
who's,
Absolutely. I think
gone through.
one of the common struggles for foreigners and expats coming here is being able to find and identify women who have good values and, more importantly, value themselves.
All right, Coach.
So, what are the signs, probably, that that the Filipina is high value and values themselves? Absolutely. So, I would say I would look at the track record in a sense that before you even came to their life, what were they doing? Were they just partying? Were they just bumming around? Or were they busy building a career and taking care of family? Taking care of family, like in the Philippines, that's very unique. So it's not some sort of like, oh, we are forced to do it. A lot of Filipinas are happy to do it. And although it may seem like a turn off initially for Western people, because like, oh, you have a lot of people to support, that's actually a good sign of a nurturing woman.
The breadwinner.
The breadwinner. So
Yeah.
look for the breadwinner, Filipina.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, that's
okay.
really interesting because Coach V did mention that it's not normal overseas. We're used to it, and
Yeah.
maybe that's why we
It's so
don't
normalized.
necessarily feel that way. But then, did you feel that was something you had to adjust to dating Filipino women in particular? Because again, it could be maybe at some point a bit. I don't know, a bit too much for some overwhelming. I
Yeah,
think
it
it's the
was
right
that
word.
new for you?
Dating breadwinners.
Yeah.
Like having that, a girl who wants to support their family or needs to support their family.
I've
From that-
dated both type of women.
Yeah.
Women who expect to be supported, and then women who are the breadwinner. I've always admired that. So it's never been a problem. It's something I've always respected. It's something I also highly value. I understand that because my parents and I are born in Vietnam, so we have similar cultures.
Okay. Yeah.
Where we
That helps.
also send back money back to our family
Right.
in Vietnam.
Even if you grew
Right.
up in the States.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
All right.
So it's baked in our cultural values. So for me, it was something that was very easy to understand, and something that I've admired very much about women here.
Okay.
Aw, that's
So you've dated breadwinners, and you've dated women who expect you to support them or expect support from their partners.
I call
in
them
general.
princesses.
Princesses.
the princess treatment girls.
Yeah.
Princess treatment. You know what? I
Let's
guess
talk about that.
I feel like there is a bit of a contrast here, because you always tell us, Coach V, that it's okay to be super strong on the outside at work, maybe, or
Yes.
when you're in the office,
Yes.
but when you get home, you have to be a baby.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right?
There's a
Yeah.
schedule.
So
5
there's
p.m. onwards,
yeah.
baby.
So,
I
so-
like that he remembers the schedule.
yeah,
Five.
so ibig sabihin, when
love this show.
when they're with you, if women who follow this advice,
Yeah.
when they're with you, they're already princesses.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
outside the relationship, they're the lady
Right.
boss.
Yes.
I think regardless of whether they're the breadwinner or princess, they want a man to support and take care of them.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I think for a lot of expats or foreigners who come here, a lot of us have this 50-50 expectation. I had that when I first came here.
okay.
And I had
Okay.
to adjust to that, right?
Okay.
I had to understand that that was okay. And in hindsight, when I think about it, and I learned about women here in their careers, even as successful women in a great career, they could be doctors and lawyers, but they are not, even them can't
and still
afford,
wants to be babied. Go ahead.
even them can't afford the condo that you live in
Oh, yeah.
BGC or Makati,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, yes, it's great to have a woman who's strong in their career, who wants a good career, but they're not going to be able to live the same lifestyle as you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So you need to understand as a foreigner, when you come and you date a woman, do expect to take care of them. Do expect to financially support them. And that's why you should be a lot more careful and selective in jumping into a
Yes,
That is
relationship.
true.
Yeah.
That is
That's
true.
You had Coach V on your podcast, and you said that it was one of your most interesting episodes. What was your personal biggest takeaway from your conversations with Coach V? Because she has a lot of scientifically backed statements that sometimes even me, I'm like, really? Is there what is it in that conversation you had with her that really stuck out to you that you actually took to heart afterwards?
I really dug into her about the AFAM culture. And I really wanted to question that.
Okay.
I really, really wanted to question that. And I still do. I want to get her on a second podcast, and I'm going to go a lot deeper into this subject. We don't have time for that here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of questions that I have about that. It is a cultural thing, and I understand it. I don't necessarily agree with everything about it.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like the subject matter I wanted to bring her on for.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Yeah,
So,
Coach V,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so let me just add about what she was saying, that it about the successful Filipinas here, right? Even
Yeah.
if you date a successful Filipina, that's true. We cannot necessarily, like be a part to what people coming from the West are like earning, right?
Yeah.
But more than that, whether you date a successful Filipina or not, a lot of us still have that traditional mindset, wherein
Oh, yeah.
whether we're earning our own money or not, women in general still wants to feel that a man is responsible, and then the man is more than happy to take care of us so we can take care of the family.
Yeah.
So this is where the gold digging stuff comes in, because a lot of
Yeah.
expats are like
Yeah.
scared of this. No, that's why he was asking like, Coach V, how can I tell if it's a good woman? Because they are willing, once they've understood the Filipino culture, I've seen in my expats clients that they're willing to support. But
Yeah.
really, they have to understand the culture, because it is a culture shock for other countries that we still want to be babied and supported even if we're doing well.
Coach V,
financially.
knowing John's stories in general, does it help that he's Asian American and not just a European
Yeah, yeah.
or an American, who
American,
actually,
yeah.
because he mentioned that he has roots in Vietnam.
Yeah.
That he has a similar culture in the
Yeah.
sense that he understands at the very least the values that typical Southeast Asian countries have. Does that help when it comes to his own assimilation here and understanding the Filipino woman compared to, let's say, other foreigners who are in the country who don't really have Asian roots?
Yes. So of course, with the AFAM dating culture now, AFAM is defined as typically someone who's coming from the West and he's white.
Yes.
But I think a strong advantage of John here is when it comes to dating, you don't have to explain a lot. Like there's an advantage like for Filipinos when it comes to courtship, because you know how to court the friends, the family, the people around the woman. With him, also having that background, like coming from Vietnam and having Asian parents, I feel like his heart is not very different from the Filipino's heart, even if he grew up in the States. So there's less friction and there's less explanation.
Yeah.
I feel like it but it's such an advantage. I was talking to him about this before, that when we look at him, I was like, oh, I thought he was Pinoy, and then he
Yeah.
starts
Yeah,
speaking in
yeah.
English, and then I was like, it has the same effect as when you talk to a foreigner who's like AFAM. So that English factor is like Filipino looking but English accent, very, very nice.
Wait, so does that mean when I was younger I should have talked in a bit of an accent just to make it work?
I mean, you can try, Pao, but
I'm just
it's a little-
saying.
But I'm curious.
That's interesting.
I'm actually curious because you said there are some aspects of the AFAM culture that you disagree to that. What are these particular aspects of the
Yeah, what
AFAM
are
Just
culture
the
that?
big Cliff Notes version of it.
Well, look. I mean, I know a lot of women here really put men who are foreigners on a pedestal.
Yeah.
But you have to also understand the numbers don't work in your favor.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
So there are a few minority of these men, and they're going to come here, and a lot of them are going to have a lot of options.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're competing against that. And so I think as a matchmaker, you want successful relationships, right? And part of the problem you're probably going to have to deal with is expectations,
Yes.
right?
The-
People's expectations versus reality. And so does that encouraging that, is that going to make it better? So I think and I have to question, are there a lot of good Filipino men? Right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of good Filipino men. I have a lot of good Filipino friends here, and they have incredible family values.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not celebrated enough. So those are the types of things I would ask.
So, what's amazing about John is he had me in his show, but at the same time, even if he's an expat, he's really advocating as well for Filipino men.
Yeah.
Because he was like, why are women have this preference towards, foreigners when you also have Filipinos
Great
with really
Filipino
really
men
great
here.
values.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do agree with you. Once you expect to be dated by an AFAM, you have to compete with the numbers, and at the same time, meeting a foreigner outside of the country is different from when you meet them here. Because when they're here and they open the dating app, their dating app blows up 1,000 matches, thinking, oh, I have so much option.
Right.
And so when a man has a
Yeah.
lot of option and not everybody is serious, of course, they
Right.
could feel that they can date around. Not all, but some, right?
And many of these men didn't get that same type of attention back
When
home.
back home,
So
that's
when they
right.
come here, they get all that attention, and it's this rock star syndrome that they have to go through.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
like
And
that
so, what
rock star
phase are you
syndrome.
getting them at?
Did
Yeah.
you
Right.
did you ever get that rock star?
Of course, I think most. I mean,
I said,
not
of course.
as much. Not as much. Okay, like I think I went through the first honeymoon stage in my first year or two, and
Yeah.
we
Okay.
talk about it. Like,
Okay.
amongst expat, we talk about that phase, and some of these
You
expat
talk
never.
about that.
Yeah, we do. And some of these guys never grow out of that
I
phase.
get you.
Oh,
yeah, I get
there
you.
you
Right,
go.
Okay.
and some do,
All
and
right,
they
yes.
mature and they settle down. And I will say that I will try to represent Asian Americans here,
Okay.
and I will say something about that. I think Asian Americans can be a bit of a gem as well, right? If you're looking at foreigners, simply because we, back home, oftentimes we're overlooked,
Yeah.
right? And so when we come here, like you have to, and back home, you probably have to work harder to stand out,
Gotcha.
right?
Yes.
And so when you get someone who's well put together here, they're probably, I guess, more, I would say, what's the right word for it? Proven, I guess, right? So don't overlook them as well.
Absolutely. Noted, John.
No, but I know I kind of
agree.
I understand where he's coming from when it comes to that,
yes.
because again, when coming from an Asian American background, I just talk to a lot of the Filipino American athletes who do come over here and feel that they are overlooked. They have to work doubly hard to even
Yes.
prove they're American. And when they come over here, they feel a bit more accepted in general. And that's why they fall in love with the place. And that's how they
Yes.
end up falling in love with Filipino women as well, that who have grown up here, because
Right.
it's the attention, the acceptance that they don't get elsewhere.
The respect.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's the same,
Yes.
situation that you had.
100%.
But I
Yes.
think,
Right,
Coach V,
and-
it's all about value matching as well.
Absolutely. And Asian Americans have the best of both worlds. You have the Asian culture and you have the American advantage. I mean, I have not talked about it enough just because there's this AFAM era happening, but it doesn't mean that we're not serving American, Asian clients. In fact, there are women here who specifically tell us in matchmaking, Coach, I want somebody who's halfies. Halfies could be
Halfies.
Filipino Americans, or somebody who's Asian and grew up in America, because again you have best of both worlds.
Yeah,
Asian
yeah.
culture, American assets.
Yeah. Yeah, look, we're actually running out of time here,
All right.
John. But then, you know what? We'd love to have you back on the show. Maybe to talk about real estate this time.
Yeah,
love to.
yeah.
Instead of just your love life. But we would
Yes.
love to have you on Love Hacks again some other time. And
But talking about love is always interesting.
Yes.
Always
Yes,
fun.
yes, especially coming from a different point of view. But before we let you go, our show is called Beautiful Day. So what makes your day beautiful, John?
Oh, just, I guess the smiles, the loving relationships that I see, just the happiness of people here.
oh, I
Yep.
love that.
Like just people who are always happy no matter what the situation is.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, John Dang, for sharing your story with us today. And thank you, Coach V, for today's Love Hacks. And of course, we have that hotline where you can send your questions and messages.
Absolutely. For those who wants to get their love problems or challenges solved using science, please do join us here in Love Hacks. You could send us a message, give us a call at 0927-975-1235, or drop by the Bilyonaryo studio to apply.
To apply, I love
To be a guest on
To
the
be a
show.
guest,
Oo,
yeah.
not to date John
You're
Dang,
always-
alright? It's apply to be on the show, okay?
Yeah, sorry, John Dang here is happily taken. So
Yes,
There you
he has,
go.
he has found
John
love already.
Yes, all right.